Hi guys, Aaron here from Mira Gaming. It is my pleasure to be coming at you live from Thorpe Park, where I've come to find out all I can about Planetcoaster 2. Let's see what I can learn. I have had a chance to play Planetcoaster 2, get early hands on. Planetcoaster, the original, came out in 2016. What took you guys so long and how have you been spending that time, crucially?
2024 felt a great time to bring Planetcoaster 2. We've got our amazing edition of water parks. We have all the expansions on the creative systems and the management systems, so we felt this is the great time to bring a sequel.
What's an example of player feedback you received from the first game that people who jump into Planetcoaster 2 in November are going to notice?
For us, it was the path system. That was some feedback we got from the original game. It was a game that had amazing creativity, major management, but the path system was an area that felt we got a lot of feedback on could be a lot simpler and a lot easier for people to connect with and build. So that's something that we really focused on Planetcoaster 2, on making it really easy for people to build long, straight or curved pieces of path, connecting their rides and their roller coasters to their existing path network, but also the ability to build plazas, which is a new thing in Planetcoaster 2. You can now build those big open areas that you see in these real life parks that we're in today, of having your guests walk through them, and that was a system that we worked really hard on making it really accessible for people to have different tools to build these areas. So as I say, you can build those long channels of paths if you want that kind of narrow aspect, but you've also got a draw tool to allow you to build that more free-formed open area plaza. We have different stamps as well, so if it's squares, hexagons, you can now combine those together to create different shapes. But that improving that system and enhancing that system allowed us to focus on what we want to do with the water parks, which is very similar thing. We have big open bodies for plazas, for paths, but that's exactly how a pool looks. It's just a big open area of water. Okay, so we use the same system on the paths to create your pools. So you can create those long individual channels for our lazy rivers. So you can put your water jets in there and recreate those amazing lazy river experiences. Those open bodies on the draw tool and the stamps can create your swimming pool. So you can use the square stamp to create a kind of a rectangular looking pool. So you can use these similar tools now in water parks or your paths, but that was an area that we really focused on in the sequel to improve based on that feedback.
We are riding Hyperia at Thorpe Park. Adam, you've been working on Planetcoaster 2. Yes. For you, what elements make up the perfect roller coaster?
It's got to be really, really tall. It's got to be quite fast. It's got to have some really good inversions, and I like a bit of hang time, a bit of air time. They're my key elements to what make a good roller coaster.
Also new, obviously, for Planetcoaster 2 is the weather system. Obviously, yeah. I'm a bit wet after having enjoyed the rides today. But can you talk a little bit more about how that will impact how you have to think about people who come to your attractions?
The addition of water parks, those are things that you would traditionally find in more brighter sun climbs, and that was a system that we wanted to build upon. So on some of the levels of the basking sun, your guests will now get sunburned. So you need to make sure there's cover for those, make sure you've got those kind of shady areas over time, but also that there's shops that can sell that sunscreen as well. So if your guests are in danger of getting sunburned, there's a way for them to have access to that lotion to stop them being sunburned and being uncomfortable, because no one wants to walk around a theme park or a water park if they're burnt. So as a player and you're building these parks, you're going to make sure you've got those systems in place to prevent that. When it's wet, as it is today, make sure you've got umbrellas for your guests to buy as well. So those how we've been using the weather system to kind of present these challenges for you as you're building your parks, but making sure that you've got them so your guests stay content and happy, and they'll stay in your park. If they're not happy, they're not going to go on your rides, they're going to go home early. You want to keep them in your park, and that's where they're going to spend their money, and you can use their money to keep expanding and building your park. So making sure you have those shops in place for the guests to buy those things to mitigate the impact of the weather.
So obviously the big update, and we touched upon it already, is the addition of water parks and stuff. But I think what struck me when I was playing the build just a minute ago was how it's sort of like the tools you provided to build the water parks, they're not entirely new, they're building off of like existing systems. More so than kind of like introducing new ways to play, would it be a fair assumption to assume that it's all about easing the player into something whilst making it feel like this big new addition, as opposed to something entirely new?
To a degree, yeah. We've been looking at some of the systems that we had in the original Planetcoaster and how we can keep that muscle memory that players will have, or for new players, make it accessible for building a flume. So a flume is built pretty much like a roller coaster is in game, or always has been. It's piece by piece. You're building one track at a time. If you want to use a special piece, there's special pieces for you to build. But if you wanted to, you can do it manually yourself. So we looked at how we built roller coasters in the original one and in the sequel, and use it to create in your flumes as well. The infrastructure is a brand new system that we've added, so making sure that your flumes stay clean, make sure that there's enough water filters in place and your pools are clean. but that's based on alongside a power system as well that we've added. So you can the generators and filters. That's a new system to make sure you've got that infrastructure in place to make sure your coasters and rides have power to run, and how that connects into your staff. You need to make sure they're maintained because they might break down. So using the mechanics and what they're servicing and looking after and layering in those extra infrastructure systems.
What's one element of the game that you hope is going to surprise people most when they get to play it in November?
The depth of management, of making sure that there's lots of new management features in Planetcoaster 2, making sure that your guests are happy as they're going through around your park, making sure that you have enough shops, food and drink that appeals to different people's preferences, or has people that have tolerances or things that they don't want to eat, don't want to drink. Make sure you've got those kind of shops in place as well, and making sure that you're adjusting the makeup of those food items to maximise the amount of profit. So there's a lot of layered detail in the management systems that we have.
The drop is now staring at us. Adam, is interviewing on a roller coaster easier or harder than you imagined?
I don't know how I imagined it. I never thought I would do it. We're about to go over the top.
Let's have it! Ah!
How many of the quality of life improvements that arrived as part of the DLC packs, are all of those going to be featured in Planetcoaster 2?
It's a brand new game. We've looked at what the original Planetcoaster had, see what we've been improving, see what we felt wasn't quite working, and then we've kind of been choosing the bits that we think would make a really great package for Planetcoaster 2, and making sure things like the creative tools that we have, having a lot more features for the creative players. They've been building wonderful things in the original Planetcoaster, wonderful, the things that we never imagined they would with the different scenery pieces. So we knew that was an area that we wanted to focus on, of adding new tools, of like being able to put the scenery pieces directly onto a ride, directly onto a coaster car. And the first time that we saw in game, in development, of people attaching scenery pieces or VFX, and we've got flames coming out the back of a coaster car, we knew that when it goes to the community, they're going to take these tools and show the amazing potential that these things have.
Planetcoaster 2 is releasing on console as well as PC day and date. Why was that an important goal for you in the development team? Was it something you always wanted to do right from the off, or was it a case of, I think we can do this and let's make it happen for our PlayStation and Xbox guys?
There's different experiences. People are playing games in different ways, and we knew that Planetcoaster 2 would be something that can appeal to people that are sitting on couches playing consoles, or playing at a PC as well, and also allows us to support that with cross-platform support. So in Planetcoaster 2, your blueprints, your parks can now be shared cross-platform. So your wonderful creations that you might be making on PC, me on my Xbox or my PlayStation, I can then download that via the Frontier Workshop and put that in my park as well. So that cross-platform potential is something that we were really keen to take advantage of from earlier.
And is there like a rating system where people online can like filter the favourite parks that people are, and then they can just download it?
Exactly. You can, if you find a creation that you really like, you can give it a thumbs up, and that will like slowly filter to the top of the creation chart. So all the good stuff that people are downloading and think are really valuable in parks will be the stuff that you'll find really quick and easily in the workshop.
What are some of the ways, or I guess what are the challenges that you hope to kind of pull people away that maybe are a bit overly used to enjoying themselves too much in the sandbox mode, and giving them a reason to try out the campaign segments? How does that work?
We spent a lot of time on the campaign mode coming up with these different scenario-based challenges, whether it's the layout of the level. We've got some of the levels in Planetcoaster 2 might be split. There's one that's based on the peak of two mountains, and you have to build from one side to the other. And the campaign mode really challenges your ability to build these theme parks. And if you think you're a really good theme park manager and you really know the systems, the campaign mode has some great opportunities to test that, to see if that really holds up. The campaign mode shows off one of our new features, that park expansion, which you might start off with a small area of land, but you have to build up enough money to buy the expansion points and keep expanding it that way, and that's something you'll get in the campaign mode. So there's lots of things in that will challenge you and really test that assumption you have that you really are good at this game.
Being the game director of Planetcoaster 2, you must be a massive fan of coasters yourself. Is there one in the UK right now that is maybe your favourite that you want to tell the people?
The UK has a number of good theme parks at the minute. I'm really enjoying Alton Towers and being here at Thorn Park today. I've been on Hyperion, I've been in Tidal Wave, I've been on this morning, and I actually really enjoy it. Even though it made me really wet, I really enjoy it. It was just nice and simple, but it's just a great thrilling, it's up and down, but it's just, the simplicity makes it really thrilling for me, because it's like, it's just simple, and you're going, right, this is really exciting, and now I'm wet. And I found that really exciting. I don't know why.
You actually get wet on Tidal Wave as well. Like a lot of these log flumes, it's like a big splash, but you're actually kind of dry.
Yeah, this one I was drenched multiple times.
Yeah, Tidal Wave, good on you for committing, absolutely.
Everyone, thank you for joining us. I've been Aaron, that's been Adam. Planetcoaster 2 coming to a console on PC to you soon. Woo! I think we should go around again.
Planetcoaster 2 comes out on November the 6th on PC, Xbox Series S and X, and PlayStation 5.